There comes a moment in life when everything starts to shift, when the people you trusted walk away, when doors you prayed for suddenly close, and when the silence from heaven feels deafening. You begin to wonder, did God forget me? But what if this silence isn't punishment, it's preparation? What if every loss, every delay, every painful ending is God's way of clearing space for something far greater? Before He gives you something big, He first reshapes your spirit to carry it. So if your world feels like it's falling apart right now, listen closely. Your blessing might be closer than you think. The divine preparation. Before we begin, take a deep breath. Inhale slowly through your nose. Exhale gently through your mouth. Feel your heart slow down. Feel your body relax into stillness. In this silence, I want you to remember one truth. Before God gives you something big, He always prepares you for it. But that preparation often doesn't look like a blessing. It looks like loss. It looks like confusion. It looks like a season where nothing seems to make sense. You may find yourself asking, why is this happening to me? Why did that person leave? Why did that opportunity slip away? But what you don't see is that behind the chaos, God is moving everything into divine order. He is not taking things from you to punish you. He is clearing space for something greater. When your life starts to shake, it's because God is rearranging it. He is removing what cannot go with you into your next chapter. That's why certain friendships fade, certain jobs end, certain plans fail, because what once served your growth may now be blocking your elevation. You are not losing, you are being pruned, and pruning hurts, but pruning is necessary for fruit to grow. Think of a tree in winter. It looks dead, stripped, bare. But beneath the surface, roots are deepening. The same is true for you. This is your spiritual winter, your sacred training ground. God is teaching you patience, humility, and faith. He is stripping away distractions so you can finally hear His voice clearly. You might feel lonely, but that loneliness is holy. It is in isolation that you meet your higher self. It is in silence that you begin to understand your true purpose. Many people run from this season. They try to fill the silence with noise, the emptiness with temporary comfort, the confusion with control. But those who are wise, those who trust the divine plan, they learn to be still. They allow the process to unfold even when it hurts. They understand that everything happening now is preparing them to hold what's coming next. You see, if God gave you your blessing too soon, it would not sustain you. It would overwhelm you. A weak foundation cannot hold heavy blessings. So, He strengthens your character before He enlarges your territory. He teaches you discipline before He hands you destiny. He tests your patience before He gives you power. This preparation season is sacred. It is where the real transformation happens, not on the outside, but deep within. You will notice that your spirit begins to change. Your reactions soften. Your heart grows wiser. The things that used to disturb your peace no longer have power over you. This is a sign that you are being elevated. Every closed door, every unanswered prayer, every delay, it all carries divine purpose. When you are rejected, it's not because you are unworthy. It's because that path would have limited your potential. When people walk away, it's not because you are not enough. It's because God is protecting your energy from those who cannot go where you are going. What feels like endings are actually beginnings in disguise. You are not being buried, you are being planted. And soon, what was hidden in the dark will rise into the light. So, if your life feels uncertain right now, if it feels like everything is falling apart, remember this. Sometimes God must break your comfort to build your character. Sometimes He has to empty your hands so He can fill them with something greater. Don't fear this season. Embrace it. Trust it. Because the more painful the preparation, the greater the promise that follows. This is not your downfall, it is your divine preparation. The inner awakening. Before something big enters your life, there will always be a shift inside you first. This is not something you can see. It's something you feel deep within your spirit. You will begin to sense a quiet restlessness, a sacred discontent. Things that once excited you will suddenly lose their meaning. The conversations, habits, and even the environments that once felt comfortable will start to feel heavy. This is not depression, this is transformation. It is your soul whispering, "I am ready for more." God begins His greatest work not by changing what's around you, but by changing what's within you. You start to see through illusions. The things of the world, status, validation, approval, no longer satisfy you. You start to crave peace over attention, growth over comfort, and truth over approval. That is the first sign of awakening. Your spirit begins to hunger for alignment, not attachment. You start to listen more, speak less, and observe the patterns of your life with new awareness. You will realize that you are no longer who you used to be. And though that realization can feel lonely, it is sacred. It means God is elevating you. He is calling you to rise above your old ways of thinking and living. He is aligning your spirit with a higher purpose. In this phase, you might feel disconnected from people who once understood you. The conversations that once made sense may now feel meaningless. The reason is simple. Your frequency is rising. You are outgrowing energies that no longer match your purpose. Don't resist this change. It may hurt to let go, but the pain of growth is always cleaner than the pain of staying stuck. The divine shift inside you is guiding you toward clarity, and clarity always comes with separation. You may feel like you're walking away from the world, but in truth, you're walking closer to your Creator. God starts to plant new desires in your heart. You begin to feel drawn to things that nurture your spirit: solitude, prayer, nature, stillness. You start hearing the whispers of divine instruction. Prepare yourself. Be still. Something is coming. That's how you know the awakening has begun. And as your inner world changes, your outer world will follow. Opportunities that once passed you by will now notice your energy. People who align with your next chapter will begin to appear. Doors that were once locked will quietly open. But this can only happen when your spirit is ready to receive it. So, God takes you through a phase of refinement. He begins to remove the noise, the need to rush, the desire to please, the fear of failure. You begin to value the power of patience. You begin to trust divine timing. You start to realize that what is meant for you doesn't need to be chased. It will naturally find you. In this stage, you must learn to protect your energy. Not everyone can understand your evolution. Not everyone deserves access to your peace. When God is transforming you, He requires silence. That is why isolation feels intense, but it is within that silence that you meet the voice of God more clearly. So if you feel detached, if you feel like you no longer fit into the old version of your life, that is not a breakdown, it's a breakthrough. It means God is shifting your spirit to match your destiny. The more you trust this change, the more effortlessly things will align. So do not resist the inner awakening. Let it happen. Let the old fall away so the new can rise. Because what is awakening within you is not small, it is divine preparation for the extraordinary life that God is about to unfold before you. The test of faith. Before God gives you something big, He will always test your faith. This is not because He doubts you. It's because He is preparing to prove you. Every person who receives a great calling must first pass through a great test. This is the moment when the fire gets hotter, the silence gets louder, and your strength feels weaker. You will experience delays, rejections, disappointments, and confusion all at once. It will feel as if heaven has gone quiet. You will pray, but the answers will not come quickly. You will try to move forward, but obstacles will appear from every side, and you will start to question, God, where are you? But what you must understand is this: silence is not absence. When a teacher gives a test, the classroom grows quiet. The teacher does not leave, he simply observes. God is the same. When he is testing your faith, he remains close but quiet, watching to see how you respond when nothing seems to work. This is the season that separates those who only believe when it's easy from those who believe when it's dark. Faith is not proven by words. It is proven by endurance. You will know you are in this test when you can no longer rely on your own strength. When everything around you is uncertain, yet something inside you whispers, keep going. That whisper is your faith speaking. God uses hardship to build spiritual muscle. He allows pressure because pressure produces power. Think of a seed. It must be buried in the darkness before it can break open and grow. Your test is that burial. You may feel crushed, forgotten, or unseen, but you are being prepared to rise. God cannot promote you without first testing your foundation. If you cannot remain calm in the storm, how will you lead when the winds get stronger? If you cannot trust him when you have nothing, how will you honor him when you have everything? These are the lessons hidden inside your struggle. When everything seems to be falling apart, do not curse the storm. The storm is proof that the promise is near. The enemy does not attack what is empty. He attacks what is valuable. The greater the pressure, the closer the breakthrough. So when life feels unbearable, when you are tempted to give up, remember, this is the final stretch. Many people quit right before their miracle. They surrender at the edge of victory because they mistake testing for rejection. But the test is not rejection, it's preparation for elevation. God wants to know if you will still praise him in pain, if you will still trust him when the path disappears, if you will still believe even when you cannot see. That is real faith. Faith is walking through darkness with the confidence that light still exists. And when you refuse to give up, when you keep walking even through the fire, that's when your transformation begins. God does not test to destroy, he tests to refine. Just as gold is purified in the furnace, your soul is purified in adversity. So don't run from the heat. Stand tall within it. The very fire meant to break you will become the light that reveals your strength. The moment you pass the test, peace will return. The doors will open. The things that once resisted you will begin to flow in your favor. You will understand why you had to endure so much. Every sleepless night, every unanswered prayer, every tear, it was never wasted. It was shaping your faith, molding your spirit, and building the endurance needed to carry your blessing. So, if you are being tested right now, do not panic. Smile quietly and say, I know what this means. Because when God is testing you, it means he is about to trust you with something greater. The arrival of the blessing. When God is about to give you something big, everything inside you begins to feel different. It's not loud, it's not chaotic, it's peaceful. There's a quiet knowing in your spirit that something has shifted. You no longer chase what once ran from you. You no longer beg for what was never meant to stay. You begin to move with calm confidence because your soul knows that what's yours cannot miss you. This is the moment when the waiting ends and divine alignment begins. You will start to notice small signs first, unexpected opportunities, sudden moments of clarity, people entering your life who bring peace instead of confusion. Things that once took great effort will begin to flow naturally. That is how God works. When your spirit has been refined, he doesn't need to force blessings into your life. He simply allows them to unfold in divine timing. The same situations that once frustrated you will no longer touch your peace because you've grown beyond them. You will understand that everything that left was necessary, everything that ended was sacred, and everything you lost was a lesson that prepared you for what's now arriving. God's blessings do not come through chaos. they come through clarity. You will wake up one day and realize that the heaviness is gone. The burden that once felt impossible will suddenly lift, and you'll breathe deeper than you have in years. That is the peace of divine arrival. You will look back and see how every rejection guided you toward protection, how every closed door redirected you toward something greater. You will understand that what you thought was the end was actually the turning point. That the moments of silence were not empty, they were sacred pauses filled with divine intention. And when the blessing arrives, it will come in a way you could never have predicted. It will come gently, quietly, yet powerfully. There won't be confusion attached to it. You won't have to beg, chase, or prove anything. It will fit perfectly into your life because it was made for you. You will recognize it not by excitement, but by peace. Because what is meant for your soul doesn't disturb your spirit, it settles it. That's how you'll know it's from God. The blessing will not only change your circumstances, it will change you. It will bring restoration to every place that was once broken. It will heal what pain tore apart. It will make sense of every tear you cried in silence. You'll see that God never forgot you. He was simply writing a story that required divine timing. And when that timing arrives, everything falls into place effortlessly. But even then, remember this, the blessing is not the end. It's the beginning of a new chapter. A chapter where your faith becomes your testimony, your pain becomes your power, and your story becomes light for others walking the same path. You are not just receiving something, you are becoming someone wiser, stronger, more aligned with God's purpose. So when your season of blessing arrives, don't forget the journey that brought you here. Honor it. Be grateful for it. Because the same God who carried you through the storm is the one who now stands beside you in the calm. You did not just survive, you were transformed. So take a deep breath now. Inhale slowly through your nose, exhale gently through your mouth. Feel peace returning to you. You have passed the test. You have endured the preparation. You have walked through the fire. And now, you stand at the threshold of your promise. The blessing you've been praying for, the breakthrough you've been waiting for. It's closer than you think. It's not coming to you by accident. It's coming because you are finally ready to receive it. So lift your head, steady your heart, and walk forward with faith. Because your season of divine reward has already begun.